All right, let's dive into something that can drive us all a little bit crazy, trying to figure out if someone's romantic interest in you is actually the real deal. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You're texting, maybe you've had a couple of amazing dates, but you're still stuck in that confusing gray area, just replaying every single interaction, asking yourself this exact question over and over again. You've got mixed signals, things feel ambiguous, maybe there's even a little ghosting. Honestly, it can feel like you're trying to read a map in the dark. It is so frustrating. And you know what? It's totally normal to feel a little lost. But what if I told you there are some really clear, consistent clues that can help you solve this mystery once and for all? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to become detectives, and by the time we're done here, you'll know exactly what to look for. So our very first clue is all about what they actually choose to remember. I like to call it the detail file. Have you ever had that moment, you know the one, where someone brings up some tiny little detail you mentioned in passing weeks ago, like the name of your childhood dog or your ridiculously complicated coffee order? It's not just surprising, it feels important. And that's because it is important. See, this isn't just about someone having a good memory, it's about where they're putting their mental energy. Think about it. Our brains are constantly filtering out useless information. But when someone remembers the small stuff about you, it means they've decided you're worth the brain space. They're not just hearing you, they're actively listening and filing it away. Okay, let's move on to our second clue. This one is all about the most valuable thing any of us have to give, our time. This is the time giver. You have to pay really close attention to how someone talks about scheduling. Look, anyone can find a spare hour when they're bored, but someone who is genuinely interested, they will actually move things around. They will create space for you in their life. Now this slide right here really gets to the heart of it. It's not about their calendar, it's about how much they value you. Being fit in means you're just filling a gap that was already there. But when someone makes time, well, that means they are actively choosing to spend their most precious resource with you instead of doing a million other things. That choice right there tells you that you're priority. And this also connects to who's actually doing the work, right? A time giver doesn't just sit back and wait for you to make all the moves. Nope. They're the ones sending that first text. They're suggesting plans. They're putting in the effort to keep things going because they're actively invested. And that brings us to our third, and often the most revealing clue of all, the future tense. This is all about spotting if they see a you in there later. Just listen for sentences that jump beyond right here, right now. When someone starts talking about things you could do together down the road, weeks or even months away, they're not just planning a single date. They are signaling that they fully expect and want you to be around for a while. And you'll often see this happen in stages. It might start small, with a plan for next week. Then it kind of evolves into mentioning an event next month. And before you know it, they might be talking about a trip next season. This little progression shows their confidence is growing, and so is their desire to weave you into their life. And maybe the most powerful signal of all is this simple little change in pronouns. When their stories about the future start to shift from "I think" to "we could," that is a massive giveaway. It's a subconscious sign of a huge mental shift. They're literally building a future in their mind that already has you in it. Okay, so we have our three big clues: the detail file, the time giver, and the future tense. So how do we put all these pieces together to finally get a clear answer? This is probably the most important part of the whole investigation. Look, anyone can remember one tiny detail. Anyone can make one plan. But that's just a one-off, an anomaly. What you're really looking for is a pattern. When you see all three of these things happening, and happening consistently, that is a powerful, powerful message. They're not just listening, they're investing in you. They're not just free, they're prioritizing you. And they're not just daydreaming, they are actively building a future that includes you. That is the pattern. So when all those dots finally connect and that pattern becomes clear, the mystery just kind of dissolves. You don't have to guess or drive yourself crazy anymore. Their actions are giving you the answer loud and clear. So if the clues are all there and the pattern is obvious, well, the investigation is over. The only question left isn't, are they into